Hi everyone, so I thought I would just film a quick video to go along with my blog post that I put up last month, which was the pros and cons of tape-in hair extensions. So this is actually going to be part of a 5 or 6 part series talking about the pros and cons of different types of hair extensions that we do here at Leading Lengths and in the Hair Extension Hub. So today I've actually got some tape-ins with me in this little packet, and I'm just going to take them out and show you. Now this is just one bundle, so normally in the packet it will come with 2 bundles actually, but I've obviously used this one already, and this is a beautiful highlighted tone of colour 18 to 22. So tape-in extensions are the easiest and quickest method to apply, so if you're really busy and you're trying to juggle work alongside meetings and school runs and everything, but you still have the desire to have long hair, then these ones can actually be applied within 45 minutes to an hour, and that includes the installation of the hair, the cut, blending and styling and everything. So it is a really quick method to apply, and it's easy enough to fit in between meetings, or sometimes you could even just run down on your lunch break, which is awesome. The second benefit of the tape-ins is the fact that they are the lowest range of all of the ranges that we do in the Hair Extension Hub. So these ones start at £150, which is enough to do a half to a 3/4 head. So I have 3 bundles in my own hair, for example, so that's 3 bundles, and that would be £225. A standard half to 3/4 head is 2 bundles, so that would be 150 quid, and you can get a full head appearance with just that amount of packets. Each bundle is 50 grams of hair. So if you're going for 100 grams of hair, that's a half head, you're using 2 bundles. If you want a 3/4 to a full head, that's 150 grams to 200 grams, which would be 3 to 4 bundles. But I have never had to fit 4 bundles of tape-in extensions from all the years that I've been doing them, because it's just a huge amount of hair. That moves me on to my next benefit point. So the fact that they come in inch weft means that they cover a large area with one adhesive strip. So unlike the strand by strand methods, if you're just using 100 grams, you can get a huge amount of coverage, so it looks like you've got more hair in, and it blends better with the natural hair, so you can get away with actually using less bundles, which is amazing. It cuts the price down even more, and it cuts down the application process as well. The next main benefit that comes to mind when I think of the tape-in extensions is the fact that you don't need to get them maintained. So all of the strand by strand methods should be maintained every 4 to 6 weeks and then removed at 12 weeks. Unlike the tapes, they don't need to have any maintenance appointments whatsoever. However, they do need to be removed 2 weeks early. So the recommended time to remove tape-in extensions is around 10 weeks, but it does mean that you don't need to get them maintained. Another benefit of the tape-in extensions is the fact that they're really easy to work with as well. Once they're in, they're in. You don't have to take them out and clip them back in every day the way you would with the clip-in extensions, for example. Once they're in, they do stay in there for 2 to 2.5 months, and they're easy to blow dry, straighten, curl. Everything you do to your natural hair you can do to the tape-in extensions as well, which is an awesome way to be able to try new styles with your hair and do up styles and everything, whereas otherwise you maybe wouldn't be able to do that with short or fine hair. Another thing about the tapes is the fact that they come in a huge array of colours. So we at Leading Lengths Hair Extensions have so many blondes, brunettes and redheads, so you can always be guaranteed the perfect match. Second to this, the fact that when you take the tape off, it's a thin strip, so you can sandwich 2 opposing colours together to create your perfect blend. So if you're in between shades, then we can use a shade slightly lighter and a shade slightly darker, and sandwiching them 2 together would make a perfect blend for your hair type. The tape-in extensions are a great introductory method of hair extensions. So if you've been thinking for a very long time about getting extensions, but you don't want to commit too much money, then the tape-ins is a great starting point. They're great for special occasions, they're great for one-off occasions, they're great for trialing hair extensions to see if you even like them for 2.5 to 3 months. And then if you decided that you do really like the extensions, you can upgrade them and go for a more expensive method, which does work out less expensive in the long run. Another good thing about the tapes is the fact that they're very low risk. So if they're applied properly, looked after well and removed on time, then they don't cause any damage. They're great for younger clients as well, who perhaps have only ever used clip-in extensions before and they're not quite ready for the strand by strand methods. Then this would be a great middle ground for all those teenagers out there as well. Another benefit to them is the fact that they lie completely flat to the head, so if you run your hands over them you don't feel any lumps or bumps whatsoever, and if you're lying down on the pillow you don't feel them digging into your head or anything. So they are very, very comfortable to wear, they are discreet, and they lie flat to the head. And my last two top tips and positive sides of the tape-in extensions is the fact that they can be used for length, volume, or both. So even clients who are just starting to thin out on their sides a little bit, they can use one packet of tapes as a volumizer set and just add length and even out the front layers. Or you can add them for loads of length and volume the way I have done by using 3 packets of tape-in extensions. And then lastly to that is the fact that they can then be cut and styled into the natural hair. The tape-in extensions themselves can be cut with avoiding actually cutting the natural hair. So you don't have to cut and blend or layer the natural hair into them to create a perfect blend, because they are thick enough to not have to cut the natural hair at all. Now onto the downsides of the tape-in extensions. They are inch wefts rather than little tiny half centimetre strands, so they are a little bit more bulky in the hair. However, when you run your hand down the top of them, you don't feel them in whatsoever. They have no lumps and bumps, but the actual adhesive strip would be wider than the strand by strand methods. This would mean then that they're not as discreet whenever you tie them up, or if your hair blows in the wind. And if you tie them up in a high ponytail or something, for example, you may have to use a couple of Kirby pins just to make the adhesive strips a little bit less obvious. And if you suffer from fine hair, the way I would, then you would have to use a few pins there just to keep that hidden. Another thing about the tape-in extensions that springs to mind is that they don't last as long as your other methods. So the strand by strands, as I've said before, last 12 weeks in the hair before you have to get them removed and reapplied, whereas these ones have to come out at 10 weeks. So you do lose those 2 weeks worth of wearability. The next downside about the tape-in extensions in the leading lengths range that we use at the Hair Extension Hub is that the actual quality is the lowest quality that we do, hence the price. So that means that it's not going to last as long as my other methods would, for example. So this range will last about 2.5 to 3 months before it starts to become very dry and unmanageable, and at that stage, when you remove them at the 10 weeks, generally most people don't use the hair again to reapply it. The good side of that, however, is because it is low cost or lower cost than the other methods, you can just buy fresh hair every 3 months and have brand new hair all the time. Another downside to the tape-in extensions is the fact that you can't wear them when you go swimming. So the chlorine will affect the adhesive tips, which will cause them to slide out. And if you put salt water or something on these, if you went swimming in the sea, it would significantly dry them out and it could discolour them. The hair quality itself is 100% human runny hair, and it is double drawn, but it will only last 2 to 3 months. So if you're taking exercise classes and going swimming all the time, then it would be advisable to maybe go for a higher quality method, or at least just wear a swimming cap. And that's it, guys. So anything else that I have perhaps forgotten to mention will be in the blog post attached to this video. So go and check that out, and then if you are interested in seeing how the tape-in extensions are actually applied, then click this link below and watch my video of how I've actually done a full head application on my lovely model in the salon. And if you're interested in any other methods, stay tuned for the next series of this video.